Hello guys! I'm back. This is Za. And this is my channel, Za Canada. At ngayon, pag-uusapan nga natin yung how to become a teacher in Canada. So, kung ikaw ay international student, worker, dating guro sa Pilipinas, current guro sa DepEd, or kung gusto mong i-pursue ang pagiging teacher dito sa Canada, ito ay para sa iyo. So, watch till the end of this video. We are going to talk about the process, the possible wait times, and the things that you need to prepare, or yung mga documents na kailangan nyo i-prepare para makapagturo kayo as a teacher here in Canada. Okay, so let's try to clear this first. Ang teacher dito sa Canada is a regulated profession. Ibig sabihin, even if you have numerous years of experience kung saang bansa ka galing, Pilipinas, Singapore, Thailand, USA, if you don't have the license to teach in each province, then unfortunately, hindi ka makakapagturo. Hindi ka mabibigyan ng work permit. For example, if you target BC, then we have the BC Teachers Board. If Ontario, then Ontario College of Teachers. And kung sa Alberta naman is the Alberta Education. So you have to go to that website para malaman kung ano yung mga requirements nila, yung specific requirements. But since in this video we're going to talk about how to become a teacher, I can give you general information or general guidelines. So because in each province naman halos pare-pareho lang. Step 1 is educational equivalency. Ito yung mga bodies or ito yung mga companies na nag-check na equivalent or anong equivalent na education mo dito sa Canada. And there are three major companies na gumagawa niyan. Yun yung WES, W-E-S, ICAS, which is yung I-Q-A-S, and yung ICAS na isa na ang spelling naman is I-C-A-S. Ayan yung tatlo. So, depende sa province. You have to know, as I mentioned earlier, tingnan nyo kung ano yung requirement nila. Kung WES ba, ICAS, or yung isang ICAS. What are the documents that you need to prepare? Kailangan mong i-prepare yung TOR mo. Definitely, it should be in English. Tapos, kung hindi naman siya in English, if you graduated in a country na hindi English yung medium of instructions nila or yung TOR na nakalagay sa documents mo, then you have to hire or you have to look for a certified English translator din para sa TOR mo. And you have to show your diploma and yung English description, the school description and background, and hindi na kailangan ng red ribbon dito. Hindi nyo na kailangan ipaka-red ribbon yung mga documents na yan. And definitely, you have to request early. Kasi minsan, sa school pa lang tumatagal na. Especially dyan sa Pilipinas. At kung wala, yung registrar na pipirma ng documents mo, let's say, for example, naka-vacation leave sila, or may maternity leave, or kung sino man yung in charge, nahahanapin pa yan. So, make sure to request early. Step 2 is English proficiency. Definitely, kasi the main language sa Canada is English and French. And ang pinaka-posible lang naman na kunin natin as Filipinos is English. Unless you have courses before or you know how to speak French fluently, then may plus points. May plus points ka dyan kasi may mga pathway ngayon for French para makakuha ka agad ng work permit. But then again, if you only have English as of the moment as your language, as your means of communication dito sa pagpunta mo dito sa Canada, then get CELPIP. or IELTS. Take, I'm sorry, not get. Take IELTS or CELPIP. IELTS 6.5, at least 6.5 or higher. Mas mataas, mas maganda. Kasi may interview pa rin naman dito. And why IELTS? Why IELTS and CELPIP? Ito yung mga nire-recognize ng mga school as official test para mabigyan kanila ng ng certificate. So once again, nasa ano tayo? Nasa certificate process tayo. So get IELTS or CELPIP. 6.5 and higher is preferred. Again, depende sa school or depende sa province. And idagdag ko lang na sometimes there are provinces who only take a certificate stating that yung medium of instruction nyo nung nag-aaral ka pa is in English. So if you can get a certification from the school na yung main medium of instruction is English, then mas maganda. So hindi mo na kailangan kumuha ng CELPIP or IELTS. Again, depende sa school or depende sa regulatory body. Okay, the third requirement para makapagturo ka dito sa Canada is to get a teaching license. Ayan na, ito yung part na medyo mahaba-haba. And kakailanganin nila yung mga nasabi ko nga na requirements nung nauna. Teaching license, kailangan nila ng English proficiency at yung mga TOR nyo o yung mga diploma nyo galing sa school kung saan ka nakapagtapos. Teaching license. So when it comes to teaching license, when it comes to getting teaching license, then you have to go to each province's website. May sari-sariling website yan at may sari-sarili silang requirements. But these are the example. For BC, this is the British Columbia Teacher Regulatory Board. I can also link the websites at the description box below. And then, yung sa Ontario naman, if you are pursuing to go to Ontario, then, or if you are currently in Ontario and you'd like to teach in Ontario, then you have to go to Ontario College of Teachers website. And kung sa Alberta naman, is yung Alberta Teaching Certification Services. Common documents na hihingin nila. The first one is yung ECA result mo. Yung kanina yung nasabi ko. If you have that, madali lang siyang hingiin as long as madaling kausap ang registrar ng eskwelahan nyo. So, yung sa akin kasi parang through email lang ginawa ang lahat. The college where I came from, nag-email lang sila. Well, first of all, I created an account sa West. West ko kasi kinuha yun sa akin. So, I created an account in West and then when I got that, may kukunin ka kasing parang reference number. You have to send that reference number to the school kung saan ka gumraduate and then yung school na yun yung gagamitin nilang reference number para i-send diretso yung diploma mo. Or no, not diploma, I'm sorry. The TOR directly to us. And I got these documents for less than 2 weeks. So 2 weeks lang, madali lang. As long as madali ngang kontakin ang registrar ng eskwelahan nyo. Madali lang yung mga process. So next is possible nahihingin ng regulatory board na province is yung English proficiency. Yan, that's the IELTS, the CELPIP, or if you have French, then the TEF or the TCF. Ayan. So PR card, work permit, or student permit if you are currently here in Canada. Then police clearance, professional references, practicum or teaching experiences, and passport size photos. Okay, so yan yung some of the requirements. So better if you have all of these documents ready. Para dire-diretso lang, para madali lang yung upload. And by the way, digital na pala lahat ngayon. You don't have to send it through courier or through mail. Most of them accept through email or i-upload mo lang sa website nila and they'll be the one who will assess it. Again, depende sa regulatory board and depende sa province. But as far as I know, everything is digitalized na. And before I forget, may bayad din. So, bago ka makakuha ng certification, normally the fee to get your certificate is 150 to 300 depende sa province, and minsan wala. Not all, when you submit your documents, not all of the province will accept your document and will automatically approve na you can teach here in Canada. Or you can teach, for example, you can teach as an elementary education. Kung gumraduate ka ng elementary education sa Pilipinas, that doesn't mean that you're going to be an elementary teacher or primary teacher here in Canada as well. Minsan, pinapakuha ka pa nila ng additional courses here or educational related programs sa universities or college here para makapagturo ka. And this is what they call a bridging program. Minsan 1 year, minsan 2 years, depende kung saan ka, depende dun sa documents na ipe-prepare nyo. Naisasabit nyo. Okay, yung sa akin, hindi man ako nagturo as a primary school teacher here or a high school teacher. Hindi naman ako nagturo sa public schools talaga. So, ang tinarget ko talaga is yung pinakamadali and yung pinaka-in-demand na course na work dito sa Canada, which is yung ECE nga. So, I got my first license sa Alberta. And then, when I found out na mas in-demand siya sa BC, because at that time, na 2022, when I got my license, I found out that ECE is one of the priority occupations sa BC-PNP. So what I did was, nung nakuha ko yung Alberta certification ko, I applied for, I converted it. Basically, I converted it to BC Regulatory Board. I submitted documents to BC Regulatory Board that I got this license, and then nandito na nga ako. Yun. So that's what I use. Kung tatanungin niyo naman ako if they asked me for additional courses, no, they did not. So they honored yung nakuha ko na in-honor nila yung TOR na sinambit ko sa kanila and yung English proficiency. I got level 3 sa Alberta, and then when I submitted it to BC, yung nakuha ko nga certificate from Alberta, then nakakuha rin ako ng BC ECE 1-year certificate dito. And now, ayun, nandito na ako. Yun na nga. Okay. Step 4, yung additional training. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko na if ever they did not recognize your full credentials galing sa school mo. So, kung saan ka nag-aral, and then your IELTS may not be that high enough, then you may need teacher education program, practicum hours, and subject competency courses. Kinukuha yan dito sa Canada. Again, depende kung saan target mong school, kung saan mo gusto magturo. I have a friend, nag-graduate siya kasama ng kagaya ko, elementary education din siya. Although, kasi magkaiba kami ng target na school. She likes to work with older children. Yung hindi talaga, akin kasi mga babies talaga eh. Yung iba wala pang 1-year-old, and yung pinakamatanda na tinuturuan ko, inaalagaan ko technically, is less than 2 years old. Pero siya, ang target niya naman is yung mga medyo nasa elementary school days na, yung mga up to 12 years old. Ito yung mga batang tinuturuan niya. So, she took college, she took educational courses dito sa Canada. Nakapagtapos siya last year. And, ayun, well, PR naman siya dumating dito. So may student loan. Yun ang kagandahan. If you are a PR here, they can give you student loan. Probably, i-interviewin ko siya next time kung paano niya ginawa so that may ano tayo, may mai-share tayo kung paano niya sinimulan yung pagiging teacher niya dito sa Canada. Well, what I can share you right now is my personal experience as an ECE. Pero yun nga, dagdag gastos and time, pero pag kinuha mo naman ng maaga, then eventually, if you are really pursuing to be here in Canada as soon as possible, then simulan mo na. Simulan na ang mga dapat simulan. And legit siya, of course. Definitely, it's legit. Walang scam na mangyayari kasi dito mo mismo kinuha yung mga courses. Alright, congratulations. Kunyari, nakuha mo na yung certification mo. You are already a certified teacher here in Canada. So, pinipray ko na hindi nyo na kailangan mag-additional courses or additional practicum hours. If in any case nakuha nyo siya, nasa Pilipinas pa lang kayo or nasa labas kayo ng Canada, edi mas maganda. Then here's what you need to do. If you are already certified, then definitely ilagay nyo siya sa resume nyo. Ilagay nyo siya dun sa certification na meron kayo. Then, for example, if you are looking through Apply to Alberta, then sa Alberta website pa lang may mga job vacancies na diyan that they are looking for teachers. And right now, this is really a good time because some of the teachers are on strike. So yung mga hindi, I'm not saying that that we should take this opportunity and get their jobs. Hindi ko sinasabi yun. I'm just telling you that there's really a huge lack of teachers here in Canada. Kaya nga siya nakasali sa express entry kasi maraming teachers ang kailangan ng Canada, and isa diyan yung ECE. Isa diyan yung early childhood educator kasi medyo sabihin na lang natin minsan challenging yung pagiging ECE kasi kailangan mo talaga ng pasensya sa lahat ng mga bata. Dahil halos yung ibang bata halos minuminuto, minsan nga segundo silang umiiyak. And that is something that our Filipinos are lucky to have. Marami tayong pasensya pagdating sa mga bata. And grab this opportunity na kung open pa siya ngayon, then you can apply through school boards, public schools, ECE, private schools, daycare. Puntahan nyo yung bawat website. Pumunta kayo sa Job Bank, pumunta kayo sa Facebook, Instagram, pumunta kayo sa mismong website ng mga school, then ask them if they are hiring. Go to remote areas, especially right now. Rural areas are high priority. Napaka-onti ng mga ECE sa mga, not rural, I'm sorry, remote areas rather. Doon sa mga remote areas, napakaraming kakulangan ng mga ECE diyan sa mga malalayong lugar. And if you're here in Canada, if you're already here in Canada, then do substitute programs. And then, part-time muna. Minsan, if you qualify for part-time and if you have this certificate, then use that opportunity to gain experience. Minsan kasi kapag nakita naman nila na you have work ethics and you qualify to be one of them, then eventually i-absorb ka naman nila. kung nakita nila yung ano mo, yung dedication mo when it comes to your work, they will they will not look for anybody else. Ikaw na yun eh. Kasi nakuha mo na yung ano nila, yung loob nila. So just do your best. This next segment is about wait time. Wait time ng mga documents na hihingin nga ng either ng Canada, ng school board, or ng school kung saan ka nagmula or kung saan ka nagtapos. First one is requesting documents from Pinas. Normally, it will take 1 to 3 months. Yun sa akin nga, as I mentioned earlier in this first few minutes part of this video, ang nasabi ko na I only waited for like 2 weeks for everything, for the whole process. But depende, kasi yung ano ko, yung kung saan man ako nagmura, sorry, nagmula, kung saan ako nagtapos pala ng pag-aaral, digital naman sila lahat. And I'm sure hindi ako yung first na nag-request ng document na to, kasi when I forgot to send them the reference number, sila pa mismo yung nag-ask sa akin, nasan yung reference number nung kung saan mo isa-send tong document na to. Which means that I'm not the first person who requested that. So, alam na nila yung process. So, depende sa eskwelahan nyo. So, kung first time ng eskwelahan nyo na gawin ito para sa inyo, then baka matagalan kasi hindi sila aware sa process. So, allow at least 1 to 3 months. Next is ECA processing. Yung ECA processing is 1 to 3 months. Depende dun sa body na West ICAS. Yan tatlong yan. So West, mabilis lang siya. 3 to 4 weeks. But dun sa ICAS, since sila yung medyo mura, alam ko mura siya and mas mataas yung ibinibigay nila na equivalency. For example, pag 4 years ka nakapagtapos sa pag 4-year bachelor degree ka nagtapos sa Pilipinas, then 4 years din ibibigay nila sa'yo. Parang ganyan. But napakataas ng waiting time niyan. Minsan nga, nung kasagsagan ng international student, nung pagkuha ng international student dito sa Canada, like back in 2022, 2023, mga ganyan. Because I was monitoring all of these Facebook groups bago pa ako kumuha niyan. Mga 2021 pa ba? I was seeing 6 months processing. I'm not sure now. You may want to check the website and see kung gaano nakatagal yung wait time nila sa pag-a-assess ng documents. These are assessing. Next is language test and prep and result. When it comes to language test, 1 month is your booking. Normally, it's 1 month before. You have to book your test at least. This is at least. Hindi porket may ang tawag yan, may available test na next week, you have to book it next week. No. And even though you are really good in speaking in English, if you don't know how the test would be carried out, wag pa din. Kasi baka ma-shock kayo dun sa kung paano siya i-deliver nung testing center. Because it has its own rhythm, kumbaga pahirap siya ng pahirap. Ayun. So 1 month processing, 1 month, not 1 month processing, sorry. 1 month preparation, and then another 1 month for the booking. So mga 1 to 2 months. So again, depende kung gaano kabilis yung yung pick up nyo when it comes to the practice. Kung magaling na kayo agad sa practice, like 1 week pa lang, magaling na agad kayo, kayang-kaya nyo na, then go ahead and take it the next month or the next week. But it's up to you. Next is teaching certificate processing. The teaching certificate processing takes about 2 to 6 months. Depende sa province. Mine, my own experience, I got it for, well, I applied with Alberta first, di ba? Yung sa Alberta, parang nakuha ko muna is level 1. I got it for 2 months and then I have it reassessed another 2 months. So mga 4 months. Sa Alberta yan na. And I'm not sure na kung gaano kadami. Depende kasi sa dami na nakukuha nilang application. And then iba pa yung BC. Kasi di ba nasa BC na ako. So depende pa yan. Ipapa-convert mo pa ulit para makakuha ka naman ng BC certificate to license. So processing itself takes 2 to 6 months. And additional studies, 1 to 2 years. Ayan na nga yung medyo matagal. So the fastest is around 6 to 12 months. Lahat-lahat. If you already got all of these documents, fastest na yung 6 to 12 months para makapag-apply ka as a teacher. Depende sa requirements. So 1 to 2 years should be enough. Kung mas bata ka pa, let's say, kakagraduate mo lang in college. And if you really would like to be here in Canada, like in 1 to 2 years after graduation, better get teaching experience na din. Mas maganda kasi yung may experience ka muna sa sariling bansa natin para at least magamit mo rin siya during the interview process while you are getting all the requirements or getting all of your documents. So, ayun na nga guys, that is your general guide on how to become a teacher here in Canada. Sana may natutunan kayo sa video na to and comment below kung gusto nyo ring makarating dito as a teacher in Canada. Don't forget to like and subscribe para dun sa mga tips pa, kung tips na gusto nyo na malaman about dito sa Canada and about dun sa mga real talk about dito sa Canada. So, yun nga. So, if gusto nyo ng specific guide, don't forget to go to each province, to go to each province's website para malaman yung mga specific requirements. And yeah, at laging tatandaan, hindi importanteng maraming pera, basta may peace of mind. Thank you for watching.